Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Star Trek, the original series, Season 2, Episode 4. It's called Mirror Mirror. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. This is a notable one. This is kind of one that, I mean, I wasn't thinking about it, but yeah, like, okay, it's the one with the Spock goatee. That's, like, everyone has that image in their head. As a Community fan, I think of The Darkest Timeline. I think of, all that stuff. So, here we go. Also, we took a week off, which was not planned. Blame back-to-back binge shows from Amazon and Netflix for filling up our schedule a bit too much.
The bastards need to coordinate better, spread their content out.
Basically, although, but given the amount of stuff they've both announced, it's going to get to the point where we have one every week, and we're just going to have to be used to it. So.
Yeah, it's inevitable that at some point they're going to both put something big out in the same week.
Oh god, and we're going to have to alternate between their stuff as well.
I know.
When we do that. That's going to be a nightmare. Anyway, but yeah, so Star Trek, the alternate universes, they're trying to negotiate with a planet of people for their dilithium crystals, but the people are like, no, you might just use them to kill people. We're very peaceful, and Kirk, of course, and the crew being understanding, being like, no, I mean, we could forcibly take them for you. Like, in fact, it's them that bring it up, not Kirk and that. It's the other race.
Yeah, they say we know you could do it.
Yeah, and they're like, but we won't. So consider that when you think about our request. we are nice people. We are nice. Not that we need to be reminded of this, but it does set up the idea that when they try to get beamed back up, there's a storm going on, and it wires cross, and instead of beaming up to their ship, they beam up to the Darkest Timeline ship. And Spock's got a goatee, and they're all wearing different outfits. The ladies are all a bit skimpier. Everyone's got like blades on them and all sorts of things. And quite frankly, they're all doing Nazi salutes. That's right away. They're all doing the old Sikh hail. I'm not going to act it out. There's no need for footage of that existing.
We all know what it looks like.
Yeah. Someone will cut it out of context. I'm not having it.
Yes, not the right time to be doing that, is it?
No. So that's the thing. Yeah, fair enough. How in the '60s, then yeah, we can. This is what it is. Let's not mess around with it. But hey, how messaging gets contorted over 20, 40, 50 years.
Keep going.
I got there eventually. So basically most of the episode, there's a couple of little snippets of our regular world where real Spock is dealing with like deranged Kirk and that.
It's more just confirming that stuff's happening rather than actually showing us any of it, though.
It almost plays as a joke, and they confirm it at the end, but there's almost a joke when it like cuts halfway through the episode to the regular ship, and like Spock's already aware that they're all deranged versions from other universes, and he's locking them up, and he's just like, yes, I don't know where you're from, but we're going to get to the bottom of this. And it's just kind of, it played as a joke to me, and I started laughing that on the regular ship they've figured this out already. Meanwhile, on the the dark ship that we're on most for the episode, they're clueless, and like our Kirk and McCoy and Scotty and who are all sneaking around and doing things to try and get home, and no one's really quite caught on to it yet. I mean, Spock's noticing a little bit of a Kirk's acting a little bit strange, but not.
Yeah, but I mean that's what kind of I think with Spock at the end kind of brings up. It's like, yeah, well, it's easier for you to pretend to be idiots than the idiots to pretend to be smart.
Aye, well, it wasn't idiot and smart, but yeah, same
yeah, but give and take, whatever. It works.
It was barbaric and humane, I believe, was the terms that were used.
I'm boiling it down.
Yeah, it's already pretty boiled down. I feel like you.
It's but.
I feel like you looked at something that's already in layman's terms, like how can we make that more layman?
I am benefiting our audience. I'm making it accessible for everyone.
Right, you just call our audience idiots. Like if you want to
No. I'm just saying everyone can watch this. I'm saying you can give this to a 4-year-old now and they'll understand.
I'm just saying, people at home, if you feel insulted by that last comment, by all means, let us know in the comments that Connor, how awful he is. Say bad things to him. Make fun of his hair.
That's fine. You won't be alone.
Anyway, so obviously they notice something's not quite right. They notice that everyone's a bit more like vicious. Like Spock punishes, Doppel Spock punishes this crew member by like basically electrocuting him, like because he made one little mistake. So we get this kind of sense. The other thing we kind of learn is that everyone's really power hungry in this universe. Like they're all talking about plotting to kill Kirk so that they can get one step closer to being a captain. And Kirk is supposed to have the aspirations of like doing things so he can be admiral and so on and so on. And Like they're all scheming. Not quite
Yes.
Spock. Spock likes where he is because he's not too much of a target, so he's quite happy where he is.
He's still logical Spock.
Yeah, he's still logical. But Sulu, who's third in command, he's like, oh, he's ready to kill people.
He's like, I'm coming for you, Spock.
As is Chekhov, which, by the way, evil Chekhov's smile might be the creepiest thing this show's had so far.
It might well be.
Because actually,
terrifying.
it ends the scene on it, and it does the fade to black for the ads as it goes den den. The dark Star Trek music is cliffhanger happening, and it's just this creepy, almost Joker-esque grin is across his face, and I'm like, man, calm down, Chekhov.
He should be playing villains.
He apparently should be. And instead of the Federation, they're all talking about the Empire.
Yeah.
I will improve in the Empire over you.
Still Starfleet though.
Still Starfleet, which I guess it's just the idea that it's still Starfleet, but it's under a fascist regime instead of the Federation. Yeah, which is so I mean the Federation is fictional in and of itself, but obviously by this point in the show we understand the concept.
Yeah, we get what that is,
yeah.
and why it's different when they tell us it's an empire.
Yeah, in fact, I think it's Scotty. It's Scotty or McCoy who even actually brings up the Gestapo. He's like, oh, it's like the ancient Gestapo, because to them it's ancient, because to them it's so long ago. But so no, they do not hide the parallels. They're like, no, basically it's like, what if Nazi Germany won, and this is what's happened all these centuries later. That's basically the plot of the episode.
I think it's interesting that this is a theme that keeps coming up in Star Trek, like very specifically that, because we had it with
Edge of,
at the end of the
City Edge and Tomorrow,
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
where that was kind of like, okay, but what if?
Yeah, whereas this is like, no, here's what does happen if that kind of at least. I mean, we're just kind of speculating, but it's the obvious point in history to go back to and say that it kind of. I mean, admittedly, they should all be speaking German probably if that was the case. But I mean, that said, every alien they've ever encountered speaks English for some reason. So I mean, I wouldn't
follow Star Wars rules. It's galactic basic. It's not English.
This is in the future. It's based on Earth, so no, it's English.
No, they just got cool translators that translate for us as well.
That works for Doctor Who. It works for Green Lantern. They've not established that in Star Trek. Thank you very much. Yet. I'm sure they will at some point. What? Oh god, what show was it where they took a pill and the pill translated everything for them? Oh, that's going to bug me now.
Oh, why did you have to ask me?
Because it just popped out in my head. It just popped out in my head. There was a show.
I can picture it as well.
They pull out like a sort of, like they open a case
little
and
white pill. Yeah,
and they take it and then everything's translated back and forth.
The pill just sticks in the throat, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh my god, that's going to drive me nuts.
Comment section, help us out, please.
Oh god. Why did I think of that? That's going to annoy me.
You're the worst.
Oh dear. So there's a lot of stuff with them sneaking about the ship, sort of figuring out what's going on, and Kirk almost too quickly kind of puts it together as to what's going on.
That's it. Because at first, when they don't say it right, like immediately, I thought they were going to play it like, "Oh, what's gone wrong with everyone else?" Because that's kind of what they hint at when they come up. They're like, "Oh, the ion storm's changed things," and you think maybe, "Oh, it's changed them," or at least we know it's not because we have the knowledge, but they might think that. But they never do. It just goes straight to parallel universe.
Yeah, he does jump to that conclusion quite quickly. But he's right, so I can't...
He's a smart man, that one.
I can't fault him too much. But, I mean, whatever. It leads to a lot of fun stuff, because it leads to all this sneaking around. It leads to creepy Chekhov. I mean, Sulu tries to sexually assault Uhura, basically.
Yeah.
The captain's not in the room, so I'm going to try it on.
Actually, that reminds me of my biggest problem with this episode is what they do with Uhura, which is essentially nothing. She comes over with them, like into this parallel world, and then they leave her up on the bridge. She has the scene where she's, victimized by Sulu. That's about it. She doesn't really do anything. We don't really see her. We spend most of our time with our trio.
I don't know if I agree with this. I think, if anything, she's equal to McCoy. If not, she has more screen time than McCoy. Or at least she has more things to do than McCoy. McCoy's basically just told to go and help Scotty. And Scotty's, like, it's engineering stuff, so it's Scotty's domain. And he's just there to hold tools for him.
I guess then, my problem is, McCoy, it's different way, because he's mostly with the others as a trio for a lot of it. So you have the banter, so it feels like they're all together, whereas Uhura feels very separate.
To a point, like, actually, I don't know if I agree with this, because Uhura... I mean, obviously Kirk gets the lion's share of the screen time, and Scotty probably gets the second most, because he actually has a lot to do in terms of, like, he's the one who has to fix everything. Because, I mean, poor Scotty. He's always fixing their mess. Always.
Yeah, he is.
But Uhura, like, I actually really like the scene where they come up with their plan. They're in, like, the medical, like, bay or whatever, and then they come up with the plan, and Kirk's like, right, Uhura, go up to the bridge, take your position, and look into what's, you know, what the orders are, all the different commands from Starfleet, and see what my options are in terms of what I can do and sort of stay in character, as it were.
Yeah.
And she gets scared before she goes up, and he's like, look, you can do this, because she realizes that when she goes up there, it's going to be all these, you know, doppelgangers. It's going to be all these copies. Yeah. It's not going to be the real people. And she's not scared about that. And then she has the thing where she has to then use the fact that Sulu's into her to distract him, and she, like, has to, like, be strong and kind of, you know, lead him on, and then she has to fight back. And then, as simple as it is, I do like that she then is the one who de-arms, what's her name? Marlena.
Yeah.
Like, she's the one who steps in. When Marlena tries to, like, hold them up at gunpoint, she's the one who swoops in and kind of does the hero thing. So, I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from, like a sort of runtime argument, but I feel like...
I think it's just because she is separate from everyone else for a lot of it, so she doesn't actually interact with with the rest of them that much, so it feels like she's very separate, and it feels like that I'm missing out.
Okay. I think the reason why the complaint doesn't work for me is that I think everyone but Kirk kind of gets the same treatment, in the sense that, you know, there's a lot of chunks of the episode where it's just Kirk on his own with Marlena, with the fake Spock, with the fake Chekhov, with the fake Sulu, whoever. Like, it's the Kirk show, right? It's the Kirk episode.
It is. That's normal, but I think the like once Scotty and McCoy are mostly together. Well, McCoy's never on his own.
Because if anything, I feel like Uhura got more time in this than she has done.
Oh, she has in a while, yeah. Definitely the longest.
Which is why I think the complaint's coming off weird to me, is because I feel like we got more of her in this episode than we usually do.
We did, but I think like a lot of them, I brush it off because she's not there at all, essentially. So it's not there. But when she's one of the four that's brought over, I feel like, I don't know, I expect her to be part of the group a bit more.
Like I say, it's not adding up for me, just because I don't feel like the other two that aren't Kirk get any more.
No, that's fair. I get you.
But like I say, it's mostly Kirk, and he's dealing with Spock, and this evil Spock. He is still very logical, and he's still like, he even tells Kirk things he's not meant to. And we know this Kirk that he's replaced, the evil Kirk, is a complete bastard. Like, if it even mentions that he assassinated Pike to get his command, which I thought was a nice little touch. That was a nice little callback to the history of the show.
It was good, isn't it? It's like, hey, you've been paying attention. You know who Pike is.
Yeah.
Even though he's only been in like 2 episodes or something like that.
That was good. It wouldn't surprise me as well if the other little things it said with the, you know, you killed X amount of people on this planet. Like, that name sounded familiar, so I'm wondering if that was also a reference to something that was brought up in a previous episode.
It might well have been, yeah.
But, because I think, do you remember that episode where it's the guy who murdered like all those people, and then they thought it was the actor, and then they tried to figure out if it was him. I think it was that. I think that was one of the things they mentioned, but it was Kirk that killed everyone.
Ah, okay.
Maybe I'm just putting two things together in my head, but it sparked my memory. Like, I heard something that sounded familiar, but maybe they've just mentioned the planet before, and that's why I was convinced I've heard it. But so that's it. So yeah, so his girlfriend, I guess we'll call her in this world, Marlena, is also evil. She's power hungry. She's kind of that power hungry kind of first lady kind of vibe going for her. And it turns out that Kirk's got this magic computer device that he stole from someone that just instantly kills anyone by pressing a button.
It's pretty convenient, isn't it?
That's pretty convenient. But it sets up just how powerful this is, and she's going to use it on Spock, and he stops her. And Kirk keeps doing that, like, you know, they're punishing Chekhov in this torture chamber, and he's like, right, that's enough, just take him to his quarters, like, you know.
Yeah, and Spock's like, should we do the full treatment? You know, he deserves death, and he's just like, I haven't decided yet. Yeah. Let me think on it. Yeah, it's just constant, like, everyone here wants to kill everyone and rise up, and they want to just kill everyone on the planet so they can take what they want, and that's the whole thing. Yeah. But of course they got the plans, and Spock's looking into things, and it's
it's McCoy staying. I will say actually, like when they're about to enact their plan, and it's after Uhura's had to like distract Sulu so they can get away with it. Spock actually shows up to the medical bay with everyone else, and there's this 4-on-1 fight. I will say some of the stunt double work here was some of the most obvious they've had in the entire show.
Yeah,
pretty noticeable. But hey ho. So after this, Spock apparently will be dead. This evil Spock will be dead if they don't treat him, if they don't patch him up.
I guess this Spock isn't quite as strong.
Yeah. So McCoy insists, even though their time limit to get back home, because they're basically saying that they've got a window, and then once that window's gone, like they're not in frequency anymore, so they're not in conjunction anymore, so they can't go home. So, but despite this, McCoy's determined to save him before he goes, because he's a good person. That's the whole point here.
Because he's a doctor.
Yeah, our characters are good people, and this universe not so much. And he does. And when Spock wakes up, there's this great moment where Spock just kind of like, oh, is he going to like understand the compassion that he's just shown and maybe reciprocate it? But instead he goes in for the mind meld, and it's like, oh right, he's going to find out everything now. He's going to learn who they are and why they're there.
Spock's far too logical for compassion like that.
Well, that's the thing. He shows up at the transporter room with them, and he never even like doubts or questions that you need to go back, and I need my captain back. So hop on, because Kirk thinks he's going to have to sacrifice himself so the rest can go.
Yeah, it's not a way of it's not. This is nice for you, so I'm going to send you home.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's no, with it, this isn't right. This isn't how things should be. Let's fix it.
But obviously, the nice thing about it is that you can argue there's a little bit of that in there. Like maybe if he's not like thinking,
maybe
that
there
way,
is. Yeah.
Like, even if he's not,
it plays it so it could go either way, doesn't it?
But then, of course, that Kirk appeals to him. He's like, "Oh, you've got 2 minutes 20 seconds left." Like, well, I'm going to use that 2 minutes to try and change this world for the better. Right, Spock, think about this. And he asks him to calculate how long this empire can last before someone eventually overthrows it. And he gives like, oh, no more than 240 years. He's like, well, logically, why can you be a part of this then? You know it can't last. Logically, you should want change because change is inevitable. And he tries to convince him, and he even tells him about the power, the super powered computer thing he's got.
The death machine.
Yeah, so that he's got like an edge, so that he can actually win the fights and whatnot. And he seems to have at least partially convinced Marlena as well, because she wanted to come with. She wanted to come to our universe. And he's like, well, nah, because we're just going to swap with our previous version, so we can't just take passengers.
Yeah, we'd have to swap you with whoever, your version on our reality, and that wouldn't be very fair on her.
Yeah, which pops up at the end. We have that nice moment where once they're back over, the real Marlena, or Earth 1 Marlena, like walks in, and all 4 of them are all just sort of in the room on the bridge. They're all just kind of looking around and like, huh, that's her. And of course, Kirk's had at least made out with her like 3 times at this point. Just his one visit, and he's like, oh yeah, you're new, yeah, okay, yeah. And of course, it ends with him walking over to flirt, because of course he is. Because
he's Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. I did really like how how we have that typical scene after the plot's done, right? So obviously
the banter scene.
Yeah. Obviously the main crew get back over, and everyone's happy to see them, and the evil versions obviously go back over. But so we have the banter scene where they're on the bridge, and it's usually them making fun of Spock, right? They'll crack a joke at Spock's expense, which they do. They say, oh, the goatee was an improvement, but then again, almost anything would be. But what I love here is that it shows you how opened up, I won't say human, but how opened up Spock is, that he responds with a joke. He hits out with what he's given, and he was like, oh yeah, I studied these alternate versions. They were truly vicious and barbaric, and quite frankly, the epitome of Homo sapiens. It was actually quite refreshing. And then Kirk's just like, Bones, I think we've been insulted.
And Bones is like, no, we've definitely been insulted.
It was good to see Spock finally hit back, and it's almost like he's finally getting it. He's drop a joke.
I prodded him enough times, and he's finally going to bite the finger.
Yeah. Basically, which by the way, his eyebrows were doing great things, both as evil Spock and as regular Spock. That thing when he raises his eyebrows, if he's like, what does that mean? Or
the quizzical eyebrow raise.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's like Kirk wanting to flirt with Marlena. I'll remember her name eventually. Marlena. I keep wanting to say Melanie, but it's Marlena.
I like the way you added the onto her name that time. The Marlena.
Marlena Moreau is her name. She's going to be a superhero with a alliteration like that.
Maybe I think they're seeding some things.
Yeah, so he's going to be a superhero. Mark my words. But no. No, Spock's eyebrows were doing fantastic work this episode. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy with those eyebrows, like the way he quizzically does
It
it.
is impeccable eyebrow control, isn't it?
And that's a word he would like to use. Impeccable. Impeccable logic, impeccable eyebrows. Impeccable all round.
Do you know what else I really like about the end of this episode? I like that, we have that bit where he appeals to the Spock, but we don't really see the results. We don't know if it got through or not.
You just did it as what you did. This Spock.
But this was specific in this time. It was the Spock, that Spock, the other Spock.
Doppel Spock.
Not. Yeah, fine, but that was intentional. Yours was just the Melina or whatever her name is. I've forgotten it again now. I haven't got it next to me to look at after that whole debate. But what I was saying is, I like that. We don't actually see if he got through. We don't see any results. We just have to go.
Yeah, it
maybe
says,
he did. Got that hope.
It just says, "I'll consider it," and then Kirk smiles before he phases away, and it's just the idea that he's planted the seed.
Yeah, and you go, that's probably enough.
Yeah,
But
the idea.
does he succeed?
Because as he says, a revolution always starts with one man's idea or one person's idea. Like, and it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe he could lead to something. Man of logic.
It's a nice ending.
As I said, it's a good episode. There's a reason why it's a classic. I mean, and by the way, how is it that Spock's goatee in this actually looked pretty? I mean, obviously it's a fake goatee, but it looks pretty decent for a fake goatee.
It does look good. I was staring at it, going, "Damn, that looks pretty good."
And do you remember what the alternative factor dude's goatee looked like last season?
Yeah.
The whiskers that kept changing the thickness.
Yeah. I want to call out Sulu's scar was a bit rough.
Oh yeah, evil Sulu's got this scar going down the side of his face.
That was a bit rough, I thought. But hey, it's a great goatee.
It's a great goatee. But basically, we're rating these episodes out of goatees. Like, how many goatees out of 10?
What can I say? It's what's important.
Solid 8.5 goatees for this episode, I think.
That sounds about right.
Is this the best episode of season 2 so far? It's
Probably.
It's better than the Adonis episode. I'd say it's better than the Changeling. Changeling had some good stuff, but it was what was the first one? The first one was Spock's wedding.
Yeah, that first one was pretty good.
A mock time. That was pretty good. So I mean, this and the first one are both pretty solid. So so we will be back once again next week with the next episode of Star Trek. So. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. Let Connor know how much she's awful. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at @mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You get these reviews of Star Trek a week early for just $1. That's all you pay for the early access. But you get a lot more stuff as well for $5 and other tiers and things. The higher amount, you get your name at the end, like one such person does at the moment. Immortalized on YouTube.
Forever.
And ever. Until the internet blows up.
You say that, but YouTube will still survive somehow.
No, YouTube will die.
Makes too much money.
Well, no, YouTube will die and we'll all be using, like, I don't know, like, who's a competitor? Because Google owns YouTube, who could step in? Amazon will start something that will basically be a competitor to YouTube. It'll be, they've got Fire, so it'll be Amazon Wind. That'll be their YouTube
I was going to go with Air, so...
there you go. Amazon Air. Alliteration. I like it. Alliteration.
Yeah.
Go for it. Amazon Air. The AA. I know that has connotations with other things. Anyway, that's us, guys. So thanks for watching once again. Keep watching TV, and we'll see you next time.